Hey guys, TC here from the Christian Gaming Channel, bringing a brand new video of Minetest. I'm going to try and stick to the once a month thing, doing my best to, so hence this recording. In today's episode, I figure we're going to hang around this area where we have the Sweeptail house, and we're going to build the other house for this blocky interpretation. Anyways, I think this spot's going to be good. It's just going to be right across the street. We already have all of the things right here. Not counting these. These are just for street building. But I'm going to go ahead and clear this area out real quick, and I'll meet you guys back here once this area is cleared. Okay, we're back. And we have a nice area cleared out here. Some of the trees look a little awkward, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Had to do some terrain work, but I think it turned out decent enough. Anyways, I think first off we should probably get the floor laid out and go from there. I'm thinking an L shape of some sort, so if we go here and fall in a hole. Yeah, I think this ought to work. It shouldn't be too big of a house, honestly. It doesn't need to be. If it's just for one person. See, L shape, so it stops right here. Then we go over this way and right about there. I think this should work as far as the house shape. It should be interesting, more dynamic looking than a regular rectangle should be. Yeah, if I build this up a few stories, probably like two and add a basement in, that should be good. I think. Well, let's get the floor laid down so at least we have a point of reference for how this looks. I hope you guys have been having a good week. I've been struggling with the idea of doing this kind of recording because it's a little open-ended, more so than I'm used to. And so I don't really have a plan in mind. I do want to try and have a time-lapse though, if I can. I'm not exactly sure how to go about getting a time-lapse set up, so it's going to be a learning experience, to say the least. Yeah, that looks like a decent enough shape. I think I could get away with that. Maybe extend it out. No, maybe not. Thinking if we have that straight like this, we have the sidewalk right here, we can go over this way and take the sidewalk right here where we could have some... oh, kind of like a little porch area that's surrounded by both parts of the house. So it's kind of like a rectangle, but not. I think that should work. Okay, let's see. Base part of the wall, because I want to get that done. I'm going to add this right here. Typically the way I do the builds is I usually have kind of a base layer for the wall of a different block type, so that way it kind of adds a bit more visual variety without being, you know, overly detailed. If I add this right here, I think I could leave that corner open. It actually probably would look better that way. But I can leave these corners like that. Let's see, right there. Don't really need to add a door there. That could have a window instead. Yeah, that looks good. And the shape isn't too bad either. Could easily do something with this. Okay. So, I'll add a bit of the wall in, and then I'm going to try and hopefully do a time-lapse. I stress hopefully because I am definitely not certain on whether or not I'll be able to pull that off or not. I think if we just use this as an example though. That... add a window in. Something like that. I think that could work. If I don't put bricks in my way. Yeah, something like that could work. It's a nice combination of textures. I've used it before over in the town actually. And I think it looks pretty decent. Even the owl appreciates it. I'm trying to find a place to land. Well, while he is looking for a place to land, I'll go get Pixel and have him help with the time lapse. I'll see you guys then. So while this time lapse is going on, I'd like to take this time to talk about something. I did say in the pilot episode that I would use the time lapses to talk, about slightly longer things than I do normally in my regular videos that I do. So, with all that said, I guess we can get into it. In the Bible, there are numerous verses that say that God will never leave us or forsake us. And I've been through numerous low spots before with this channel, back in the early days when basically no one was watching it. Actually, I think there was a couple years where it was basically 0 viewers, 0 subscribers. And it really puts you in a position where you feel like you're not getting anywhere and you want to quit. So, yeah, there's that. Ultimately, though, God kept me going through it, and He never left me, and He gave me the encouragement I needed in order to keep pushing forwards. And if you look at it now, the channel is growing quite a lot, and it's just amazing what God can do if you just trust Him and just let Him do His thing. It really works. So I just hope this one little chat helps you out, and if anybody's going through struggles or in their own little valley before they get to the top of the mountain, just know that the Lord will be with you every step of the way. And I hope this really helps whoever needed this. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the time lapse. After the time lapse. Well, you can see the time lapse hopefully went well. I'm not entirely certain neither of us know how to do it, so yeah, it is what it is there. So you can see I also had to put some construction gear on because, well, it's getting a little construction-y in here, I guess. Anyways, we had the walls up. I think this little border around here probably works. Maybe, anyways. I don't know. I'm not entirely sold on it yet, but it does at least break up the brick. So I'll just run with it for now. Anyways, I think for the moment we should probably try and put some ceiling in. That's sticks. I don't need sticks. This is what I need. Okay. Anyways, I think if we put a ceiling right about here, we can put the next floor on top of it. It's just a building technique I use. It takes up a lot more space, but I feel like it's worth it. Keeps the floors and the ceilings, separate, so that way the build looks a little bit cleaner, in my opinion. If I keep putting the blocks up here, though, I'm definitely going to have to install some lights because this is going to get a little dark. And 1, 2, 3, and closed. Okay, it's not that dark, but it's still kind of dark. Actually, you can make out the bridge right over there. That's neat. Okay, so I think right here we should put some stairs, which means I have to go back out to that box and grab some. Okay. The way the stairs work, at least for me, unfortunately, I have to put these down in order to actually keep them straight. Otherwise, they will just consistently mess up on me, and it's no fun. It really isn't. But it's one of those things you just kind of learn to compensate for. So you pop this open right about here, like that, and that should net us another set of stairs, which should lead us up to here. Huh. Well, I would like to keep the 2-block gap there, so it's going to be a little awkward. I think I can get away with doing it this way. At least I'm going to try to. Okay, so we're going to need some pine. Let's see, slabs, if I can find it. There it is. If we put this here, that'll kind of act as a bit of a stair still. And this should fit, but it looks kind of awkward. What if I just used these 2 slabs like this, and then just went up into regular slabs? Regular blocks. That could work. It'd be a little awkward, though, but it could work. It's just such a tight spot. but I don't know what else I could do. Well, I'll just have to live with it for now. And, how do I want to make this part look different? If I want to, anyways. I think for now I'll just put this here. And if it doesn't look good, we can always change it later, so shouldn't be too big a deal. I have Pixel over there in his home, just relaxing. And let's see. Yeah, that should work. I mean, you can still walk up without any problems. Yeah, that should work. Just gotta get rid of these blocks because that's not going to look good. I think, I'll put some... No, that'd take up a lot of space too. You know, I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. And put stairs underneath these. Which means I just have to break these real quick. Put these down here. And there we go. It looks a little better, and it at least doesn't eat up all the space inside the building. Alrighty, so let's see now. I have that down, I have that down. Probably needs to be more walls, but I don't think that should be done at the moment. I'm going to focus on this area, I suppose. Now, I think for this area, cobblestone might look like a decent entranceway. I kind of want to keep these two separate as much as I can. So this is, the, clearly defined as the inside, and this will be the outside. I think the best way to go about that would probably just be... Oh. Yeah, that's fine. I think making this cobblestone might work. Might. The problem with these more creative processes, as far as recording goes, it's very iterative. You make something and then you try it and you see if it works. If it doesn't, you tear it out again. Which isn't a big deal when you're not recording, but when you're recording you want to try and make things look decent at least. And if you heard a dolphin, I do apologize, they are extremely loud. I don't know why they're so loud, but they are. Isn't there a bit of concrete? Yes, there is. I was wondering why that looked off. There. That kind of looks decent-ish. Yeah, it does. I think this can work. Okay, so let's see now. Put some fence down because these fences are actually going to be very useful for a couple things. They're also great. I mean, they're great for this, but they also serve as very, very efficient stairway guards. I think we should put the pine right here because this is where the inside of the building starts. So just put that in there. We can go up here now and put this down so that way there's a little bit of a safety. That way nobody falls down. Yeah, that works. I don't think I need to put anything there. Should be fine without it. It looks good so far. I think I'm going to go ahead and finish up the walls, and I'll meet you guys back there because one time lapse I think is enough because I have never done it before. I don't want to push it, so I'll meet you guys back in just a moment. Okay, so I got the walls up, as you can clearly see. It's not terrible, but oh wow, that is quite the gap. I didn't even notice that. Huh. I wonder if that should be moved up one. I'm not going to worry about that for right now. I want to get the roof up first, because I think that's a little bit more important, and I did come to a conclusion on the basement, actually. I don't think we're going to put it in because honestly, it's just the limited amount of space we have in here. I would have to do a little bit of thinking and planning on the arrangement of everything in order to figure that out. So I'm just going to leave that be for right now. At the very least, we do have some walls, so that's at least something. For the roof, we're going to do a mixture of cobblestone and pine stairs. Cobblestone to kind of dress the edge. If I'm not mistaken, this house has something similar. Yeah. It helps break up the wood, and it also just makes everything look nicer, in my opinion. So we're going to try and do something similar here. Although with the way this building is shaped, the roof is going to be a little awkward to do. But hopefully we can do it. I mean, at least... I'm struggling a little bit with the whole conversation skills thing. I'll just go with that because I don't know. The commentary, there we go. I'm struggling a little bit with the commentary. I'm still not used to doing this kind of thing. So it's going to be a process. Anyways, I'm just going to put these right here to keep the edges clearly marked out as a separate area from the top of the roof, I guess you want to say that. And yeah, I probably should go out one block so that way this area is covered. Hopefully. Again, I don't really know how I'm going to go about doing this because it's going to be awkward. And that's going to be potentially an issue because I don't know how I should go about this. This whole corner right here is the main issue. Unless I do this. This might actually work if I look up stairs. I'm probably going to have to sort through like 500 pages. Let's see, nope. Because I can't just look up cobble because it'll give me just as many pages. Annoyingly. Let's see, clay. I somehow missed it. Let me look up cobble then. Unless it doesn't have that stair variant, which would be really unfortunate. Okay, I'll grab you and I'll grab you just in case. I might need these. Okay, so my idea is if we get this arranged just right, we can bring this over here like that. We should be able to just completely do this around the house as a complete stair if the tree doesn't get in the way too much. So if I go like this and not fail, come on, there we go, like that, and then we go here. Yeah, like that. There we go. I think this can work. Obviously, these white blocks are just temporary. But I think this will be a lot nicer. Hopefully. It's just going to be a little awkward looking with the back of the... Oh, I'm just going to have to do the whole house like that, aren't I? It's going to bother me knowing that. It's not the same all over the place. See, the problem with working with semi-professional builders back in the day and helping build up servers and stuff, as far as the builds go, you end up getting a bit of an eye for detail, which can be very annoying at times. For the friend who was watching that, you know who you are and you know what the server was. That took forever. Way too long on certain builds, but it turned out really well. I'm not going to complain about that. I thank the Lord I got that experience because I learned a lot in the process. And I think he did too. Not my friend, not the Lord, obviously. Okay. Anyways, to really quickly double check. That's all good. Okay, so we don't need this white block anymore. We can look up pine to get the rest of these stair types. Should not be too hard to do. Okay, we have that stair type. Now we just need to go to the next page and grab this stair type. And just shove all these around a little bit. Okay, so now we can put this guy here. And I don't know for certain if we will need the inverted block, but it doesn't hurt to have it on hand just in case. I will say though, I do enjoy building in Minetest still. It's fun. I just struggle sometimes with the whole building process. It's a very creative and iterative process, like I mentioned before, and it just takes time. And when you're not used to doing recordings like this, it takes a while to get acquainted with, I suppose. Apparently it's bothering me a lot because I'm talking about it quite a lot. I guess that's how it is sometimes. Okay, did not mean to break the wall. Just pop that back in and kick this. No, don't kick this out yet. We're gonna need at least this right here so we can branch off of it. Those dolphins are very obnoxious. They're loud during the day, they're loud during the night. I don't know why they're like this. Come on, I know you want to work. You don't want to work, fine. I'll do it my way. If that's the case, I'm just going to put these in the corners now. Because I know for a fact these blocks are probably going to give me trouble. But at least it's coming together. After I finish the roof, I think I'm going to try and fix that midway border and go from there, hopefully? I don't know, I might just end it after this because it's probably getting a little long as it is for what I'm trying to do. There we go. Yeah, I can just fill that in. I don't think a flat spot on the roof is going to hurt too terribly much. It's not like rain physics apply in this kind of a game. So we just fill that in like so. And there is the roof. It's a little awkward, but it works. Now I just got to get rid of all those blocks and find a way to compensate for this. Yikes. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. I don't know how I should go about fixing this. I mean, I could always just fill this in. I don't want to, but I can. I mean, I guess that works. I don't like it, but it works. And I'm going to meet you guys back as soon as we can get sunlight back because these nights are kind of dark, and these streetlights just don't cut it. Okay, so we are almost done with this video. All we really have left to do is just to move this up by 1, so that way we can just make it look a little bit better. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm still torn on this whole midway break. I think it looks nice to a point, but it also feels kind of awkward to me. Because I just don't want the whole building to be one whole giant slab of brick. I mean, it is, but I don't want it to look like it. So if I can break it up visually with these, I would like to try and do that. I think that looks better. Yeah, it does technically look better. Maybe I'm just too harsh on my own building skills, I don't know. But yeah, we have the shell of a house built up at least. I think in the next episode, next month, because it feels very uncomfortable for me to try and do this. I'm trying to work out of my comfort zone on these videos because these are far more open-ended than I'm used to. So yeah, anyways, hopefully in the next video we'll just be able to fill out the interior, and maybe by then I'll have figured out a way to make the basement work. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this, and remember, Christ is King and Jesus loves you. Bye.